Good evening and welcome to the 100th episode Athlete Roundtable Special Edition of Legacy After the Locker Room. I'm your host, Kayla Bradham, here tonight with some amazing guests. I can't wait to introduce them, tell you a little bit about what they're doing. We're going to start with the VP of Sports Illustrated, NFL alumni, Mark Pattison. Good evening, Mark.
How you doing, Kayla?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit, Mark, about the charities or foundations that you're passionate about and why?
Yeah, it's a personal story. I'm obviously a former NFL player, and I decided to climb the seven summits 10 years ago. And as I got into this, I was going through kind of a rough patch in my life, and the net is about halfway through that, I went through my own healing and then realized that I was well on my way towards getting on with the other three, ending with Mount Everest. And over the last several years, my daughter has had epilepsy. Her name is Amelia. And so I decided to take the spotlight that was starting to be shown on me by the NFL on my mountain climbing and kind of life after football and what people do towards shining that towards how can I help others, especially my daughter who's suffering from this. And so I partnered up with a company called Higher Ground. It's based in Sun Valley, Idaho, where I live, also in LA and New York. And it's really about empowerment of other people. And so I did that, started a campaign called Amelia's Everest under the Higher Ground brand. And, it's been just an amazing experience. It's got a lot of publicity, which has been great. We've raised well over $100,000 towards that great cause. And the NFL and the Raiders have actually thrown in money as well towards helping, others go through their healing and get empowered on that. So that's how I've helped out. It's been an amazing journey. The NFL also did a film on my journey called Searching for the Summit and won a Best Picture Emmy for Best Picture this last year, which was very exciting. And in that, talked a lot about higher ground, about Amelia, about her struggles, and as she continues to try to overcome, her battles, day to day. She's 24 now. She started when she was 6. So overall, it's been a wonderful organization. It's really benefited my life in many different ways, and so grateful that I decided to step into this journey and all these amazing things that have come out of it. So that's what I've been doing. Michael, tell us about your story.
Uh, um, from Chicago. My parents are Jamaican, and I played in the NFL with a number of teams, Packers and the Bengals being the most notable. And my parents are Jamaican, so I went to Jamaica and had American football camp. And from there, I was asked to do bobsled for Jamaica. And so after my strenuous 10 years career in American football, at the ripe age of 41, I decided to go out there and slide on a tub on ice and go about 60 to 70 miles an hour. So I did it. It was awesome. Spent a year and a half, little over a year and a half with the Jamaica bobsled team, competed at a high level with those young bucks, and it was there. Well, after that, I came back and got back into coaching, and it was there that I realized the 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 missing opportunity that these young athletes have playing American football. And so there's a gap year, and they are not getting the chance that they got before because of the pandemic, because of the super seniors, and because of these things that we're going through at this time. And so I created 9010 Sports Vocational Academy. And this is where the athletes get that opportunity to go out there and get a trade and develop physically and mentally to get ready for that college level. So, and I'm an educator, teach child development, and yeah, that's what I do. And let me see, who can I pass this popcorn? Rich, that Rich, you up? You on mute, Rich?
Rich, we're having a hard time hearing you. Why don't you check your device and go ahead and give it another shot? Folks, we're having a hard time hearing Rich. Here's what we'll do. We'll just go right next door to Todd. And Rich, while you're working on your audio, Todd, when you're done, why don't you pass it back to Rich, okay?
Absolutely. So I was fortunate enough to play Major League Baseball for many years. I come from a small town in North Carolina called Rutherford County, and I was a late round draft pick, wasn't supposed to be making to the big leagues. And through perseverance and hard work and not listening to the doubters out there, I actually made it. And that's the biggest thing that I love with Perfect Game right now is we're really going out there trying to find the kids that no one can see. It's really hard recruiting this times through the pandemic and everything else. And amount of kids out there wanting that scholarship, wanting that opportunity. And with Perfect Game, we can really get out there, find the kids. I get to see the kids and help them connect with colleges and get them the scholarships that they need to move on with their baseball career and their education career. And I love to help the kids and telling them that you have to believe in yourself. And that's the biggest thing that I think kids don't have is that self-belief. Everybody in this world wants to tear you down, beat you down, and put you down to the ground. And just to let them know that, hey, if you work hard, you give everything you got, and you believe in yourself, that's more important than anything. And to be a voice and to help them out is something that I've been passionate about for years, especially with kids. Having for myself and watching them grow up and going through every life aspect, it's been great. And for me to play with those guys and to be in the big leagues and play with the Hall of Famers and just to see what it takes to get there has been a tremendous ride for me. And I'm blessed every single day. I still can't believe I actually got a chance to play. But now I'm out there helping the kids achieve them dreams that they're looking for. And I like it. I mean, you see these kids every day grow from freshmen all the way up to seniors. And then the growth that they take is amazing. And, Major League Baseball has given me the opportunity to go out there and even look for more. And that's pretty much what I've been doing and, raising the kids and watching baseball and watching more kids. And let's see if Rich, you got your everything ready to roll now, brother?
Yeah. So I can hear you a lot, Todd.
Nice.
Yeah. My story's just kind of different. I never played in the big leagues. I got close as a player, but that 190 batting average wouldn't let me in. So I've been fortunate enough to coach mainly with Jim Leland for over 30 years in the big leagues. Been a part of a world championship with the Marlins in '97 and in 2018 be a coach on the world champion USA team. Along the way, I had 8 children and lost my daughter, Amy. She had a brain tumor at 17 years old and passed away. But something she said happened exactly like she said 5 years later in a World Series called The Chicken Runs at Midnight. It's a book that's out, and we're currently getting ready we're doing the movie as we speak. And then 3 years ago, my son, Michael, he was helping a girl and her boyfriend push a car across the highway in Texas. And he threw the girl out of the way, saved her life, and he was hit and killed instantly. My other 2 daughters were at the Las Vegas shooting 2 years ago, and the bullet went between their heads and hit the girl in front of them in the face. They, instead of running like I probably would have done, they laid down on top of her, took their blouses off, made a tourniquet, put it around her face, help stop the bleeding, and laid on top of her for almost 15 minutes of shooting and saved her life. And I always tell people, you're supposed to be a hero to your kids. And in my family, my kids have been my heroes, and they've taught me so much. They've in my life, I compare my life to running the bases. I was going to first base, I was okay. Then when I got to second, I got way out of the baseline in my personal life. And because of my daughter and my wife, they were like my third base coaches, which is what I do for a living. I was a third base coach, and the whole idea is to wave your players home to get back to home. And they were my third base coaches and waved me back to my faith when I was little and to get me back to home. And I promised myself that when they both passed away that I would go around the country like I'm doing now, trying to spread the word, trying to tell people, if you have something bad happen, you have to overcome it no matter what it is, because everybody has something. And the more you can share it with people, the better off you are. And I found out I get a big thrill or satisfaction of people coming back and telling me, "Hey, Rich, I had a daughter who passed away, and boy, you really helped me," or I had a wife who passed away, and all this. But the whole thing is, hey, we help one another, and athletes are competitors. That's what we are. I think we're a little different than the normal person because we compete against the best competition in the world, and I think that helps us get ready for what's happening in life. So that's basically my story, and I'm just so honored. I told Kayla, with all you guys here, I feel like I'm a pair of brown shoes and you guys are a tuxedo. So, uh, so much good that all you guys do, and I appreciate you.
Chris, if you don't mind, that seems like the perfect lead in to your story and a similar sort of experience and a similar sort of goal. Can we call on you next?
Yes. I have to say thank you for allowing me to share a virtual stage with these men and yourself. Wow. Um, so I played 12 years in the NFL. I was with the Washington Redskins for my 13th year in 2010. Got released, so I was at home. You know, oh, a good career. I mean, a great career. 12 years. Thought I was going to get that 13th. And I was at home. My girlfriend at the time, Keisha, was challenging me to do P90X and run a 10K race, which definitely not anything I wanted to do. But she had a little shortness of breath, December of 2010, and unlike so many people, she didn't avoid going to the doctor. She said, "I need to go in. I need to get checked out." And this woman that was in amazing shape goes to the doc and gets a chest X-ray, and they find out that she has a mass in her left lung. That mass in her left lung was the potential of cancer. That we confirmed December of 2010, that she had lung cancer. And I tell people that's when we found out the most important fact, and that is that anyone could get it. Before that time, I would have said you had to have a connection with smoking. That's what I was taught. But on that day when we got the biopsy results back, then we knew for sure anyone could get it. 37-year-old woman is in amazing shape. Again, challenging me to run it. And then too often it's diagnosed late. And so she was diagnosed stage 4 lung cancer, basically January 2011 when we got our final diagnosis. And not really knowing the cancer space, because until you're really in it, you really don't know it. You know it's bad or potentially real bad. But stage 4 lung cancer, end up passing away a year later. So there were some new innovations that were there. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be on them. But again, passed December 27, 2011. But before she passed, we had a chance to get married November 27, 2011. And before that day, she came to me. She said, "What if we don't get presents? What if we ask our family and friends to support the foundation?" At the time, the Chris Draft Family Foundation already existed. So support the foundation in creating another initiative that would fight lung cancer directly. And I said, "Baby, that sounds great with me." So that's what we did. We asked them, and so on our wedding date, again, November 27, 2011, we made 2 commitments: one to the lung cancer community and one to each other. So just an amazing commitment by my wife. But I think so much of the work we do in moving forward from that moment really acknowledges the big moments that she had in her life, and that was this initial diagnosis that just absolutely hit her in her chest and just was like, wow, out of nowhere. Is that everybody at that moment, they're asking themselves, do I have a team around me? Do I know what to do? Am I ready for this? And they have to be able to choose every day to live and not just accept the circumstances of lung cancer, or cancer in general, but really decide they're going to live each day and really, kind of make adjustments along the way, but that they're going to be grateful for each day that they have. And my wife did a tremendous job of that, finding a way to smile within all of the kind of setbacks and just really a lot of bad news along that year. And then, then when we got married, her ability to say, you know what, it's time for it to not just be about me, but really about, let's go out there and fight for other people. And so again, it's a choice that she made, but a choice that everyone has to make that says, are we just fighting for ourselves, or there's that point where it's like it has to be bigger, because the only way things are going to change, it's not going to be by an individual, one person, two people, three people. It will be a team of people, a large team that really makes it happen. And so that's been the work I've been doing, since basically Keisha's passing in 2011, changing the face of lung cancer, really, and loving up on people right at the beginning, helping them with that difficult decision, challenging the system to be able to change, to make sure that there's equity across the board. And I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't say that my wife wouldn't want me to just do the work. And so after she had passed, I needed to be honest with myself in terms of what I was willing to do. And number one is I needed to accept that any of the work that we do, nothing was going to bring my wife back. Nothing. The second thing was, could I be happy for people doing well, right? There's innovations and people are doing well. Can I be happy for that? And then the third thing, am I willing to fight for it and bring the power of the NFL and all the resources to this battle and say, lung cancer, you better watch out because we coming for you. So that's what it is. That's me. I think I get to drop it off to Jesse. Can I throw you an oop over there?
I'm catching it, Chris, and I love what you're all about. Kayla, I appreciate Sports Philanthropy Network. This is what it's all about, coming together, uniting different sports and making a difference together. When I was 2 years old, I told my parents I want to play professional sports, and some of us have that sense early in life. After graduating from Dartmouth, I played soccer overseas in Scotland and Zimbabwe, and then my career ended tragically. I was taking a prescribed medication to prevent malaria, and it ended up ending my career and almost killing me. What was supposed to protect me was nearly ending my life. I was fighting for my life for a year. It took 10 years to fully recover. And it was brutal. But I believe sometimes the greatest things happen in the worst circumstances, and pain can forge and fuel a new purpose and passion. And that's what happened in my life. There was a lot of deep transformation during that time. I really shifted out of a performance-based identity from that roller coaster ride of being inflated and deflated to being secure. And faith became a big part of my life, and secure in God's love that won't be taken away. And out of that, I never thought I'd be a pastor, but that's what I do right now in Seattle. I love this city. We have a wide range of things. My passion is spreading hope, because I know what it's like to feel hopeless and to not know what door to walk through or where you're going to find the strength. I was battling to be in my right mind with all the side effects of the medication. So now locally, we distribute. Right now, we have an initiative. We love our city, and hundreds of families coming in for free resources this week. Also partnering with the Seattle Sounders Faith and Family Night. That was all videotaped today, working with Freddie Montero. And then globally, we partner with World Vision. See, I believe it's about collaboration and partnership, and we want to bring clean water to all of Africa. That's where I played, and I know the needs there. I know the drought, know the poverty. And so the goal is by 2030. And we had over 100 people in our church run a half marathon and raise a lot of money for that cause. And we continue to move forward in that cause. And that's what we want to see. Also, during the pandemic, it really stood out. Center of Disease Control, they reported that there's more deaths right now by overdose and drugs. Census Bureau said half of America feels right now hopeless. And American Psychological Association said we're more stressed than ever as a country. So that really stirred our hearts to take more action. And what else can we do? And we started to create some free content, revivinghope.com. We've now been able to reach hundreds of millions of people, just spreading a message of hope for people, and that hope is available to you right now. And we focused on a marriage series because there's a lot of marriages that are limping, to build up that important union in a family. So I love what I do. I never saw it coming, but I believe in life, sometimes the greatest blessings aren't always planned, and they really do emerge from the deepest trials. And I'm grateful to be part of this community tonight. And again, just love it that there's life after sports in terms of your athletic career. It's tough on athletes when it ends. And I know for me, it didn't end on my terms and when I wanted. Yeah, I thought I'd be playing another 10 plus years, but there's life after the tragedy. And sometimes that's actually part of your story. And what's going to happen and what you learn, experience there, you're going to have greater compassion for other people. And then you're going to do things far more important than even sports. And I think that's what we're celebrating tonight.
I love it. First of all, I want to say thank you to each of you amazing men. Jesse, you brought up something important. That's breaking down the silos that exist within the leagues, right? So here tonight, we have Major League Baseball, we have Major League Soccer, we have the NFL. That warms my heart. I want to thank Sports Philanthropy Network for powering this 100th episode Athlete Roundtable. I'm so blessed that we have this opportunity. And as we have just a little bit time left, guys, I want to give you an opportunity. You are wise men with crazy stories. Every one of your stories just goes in and it just grabs my heart. And that's why you're here tonight. I want to give you a chance to share your wisdom, because the story is nothing without the lesson that stems from it. Todd, if we start with you, would you just speak some hope, some possibility to the listeners, a little bit of your wisdom coffee time?
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing for me is if you're a coach, a mentor, or you're working with kids, you don't know their situation. They're with you for an hour, 2 hours. That could be the best 2 hours of their week, their month, their year. Love on them, be with them, lift them up. Just remember you're there to help them. And then just like I said, that 2 hours you're with them could be, a life-changing moment for them. And you can't take them moments and minutes and seconds for granted.
Go ahead and pass the baton.
Absolutely. Jesse, you ready?
All right. Thanks, Todd. I would say sometimes when I'm working with young adults, they put too much pressure on themselves. Like they have to have everything figured out. And there's going to be a lot of twists and turns in life, a lot of surprises, but do the next right thing. Make the most of the opportunity today. Don't go borrowing trouble from tomorrow. And I like to say that build on islands of strength. It's hard to steer a parked car. So take the initiative. In sports, that's so important. You got to take the initiative. Be proactive. Don't just be reactive. Don't retreat. Don't talk yourself out of the opportunities by saying, well, I'm not talented. I'm not old enough. I don't have enough experience. Like start young. And as you do that, build relationships. You can't do it alone. So start to lock arms with people who share the same commitment, values, and passion, and start to do it locally. We need people who are going to step up in their neighborhoods these days, not wait for someone else to do it, but instead who are going to be the ones who are going to make a difference. They're going to be courageous. There might be a cost, but it's worth it. And we want to see mobilization, kind of a grassroots mobilization in communities across America where we're uniting, there's love together, and we're serving one another. Multicultural, multi-generational. That's one of the joys of my church, is that we have people of all ages, all nationalities. And we need to learn, even if there's some differences sometimes, we can learn from each other. We can grow. It's richest when there's diversity. And I just think we need to be intentional with love. And in sports, I was always cultivating habits. It was always about nutrition, weightlifting. I was always working on, my vertical and diving and getting to the upper corner. And there's so many habits in sports, disciplines. And I think that's important in life to identify, starting in the morning, what are the key things for you? In my 20s, it was actually some prayer in the morning. And that was new for me because I didn't grow up believing in God. But, that was one of those habits that stuck with me all these years. Exercise, important habit. There's a lot of habits. Invite people over your home for meals that are maybe from a different country. There's just a lot of life-giving habits you can start to cultivate. And when you do those habits and you commit to those habits, what you're going to notice after a month or a year, it's going to be amazing what happens in the relationships that you build. So nothing's more important than love, and we got to live that out together. Let's go over to Chris.
I'm taking it, man. I'm taking it. I'm grabbing it, man. I'm so excited listening to you guys, and I mean, it really just talks about the power of team, and that it's not just one perspective of wisdom, but so many different ones that really allow us to be able to grow. And so, I have to just reiterate a lot of the things I said before, in terms of my wisdom really comes with the fact that my wife, when she received the diagnosis, she was honest about it. Right? She was honest from going into the doctor, honest about really just accepting and not trying to figure out how it could happen to her. She accepted it, owned it, and then maintained her faith throughout the process. And because she had built strong relationships with her family, with her friends, along that year, they were there. They were there. So I would say be intentional about living right now. Be intentional about your faith. Be intentional about your family and your friends, to make sure that if something happens, that you won't have regrets. They will be right there with you. You won't have to say, I got to go back and reconnect with people, because you were already doing it. That's all. That's what I got. I'm gonna pass it over. Where's my man, Rich? My guy.
I'm back.
Damn. Accident.
Yeah, I just want to say, in the last year, my daughter had, she knew she was going to pass away, and she was like the happiest person in the world. She was more concerned about everybody else, and that taught me that this life ain't about me. It's about everybody else and how we can help them. And she taught me how to live, and in the last year, she taught me how to die. And my greatest tribute to her, and I'm sure Chris could identify with this, is to share the great qualities that they had to other people. That's the best testament that we could give to our loved ones' lives. And they taught us so much. And, and I think we all made a vow to spread the word, spread all their good qualities to all the people that we've met. And to get with guys like you that have so many are doing so good things. Like I said before, I always say there's two kind of people and there's two kind of players, those that are humble and those that are about to be. And I get humbled every day. And today I'm even humbled even more. So thank you guys.
Wow. Well, I would just echo Rich's comment. I'm humbled to be in the presence of you great men. We have one of the most iconic players in Green Bay Packer history just joining us. And before we get to Mr. Kitrick Taylor, I just want to go ahead and pass that baton from Rich over to Michael Blair and over to Mark Pattison, and then we'll catch up with Kitrick. Michael?
Yes, I'm here. All right. So Rich said two of them, and I'm gonna echo it. My dad used to say all the time, "The humblest calf gets the most milk," and there's a time and a place for everything. And the other one that I learned, being, I'm the president now of the NFL Alumni Chicago chapter, and it comes to an effect so much is it's not about me, it's about the person that's standing in front of me. And so I'm always telling myself these three things, and I'm telling the kids these three things. Humblest calf gets the most milk. It's not about me, it's the person in front of me, and it's a time and a place for everything. So those are my nuggets. So I'm gonna pass it on. Who am I gonna give it to?
You're
I'm
gonna give
gonna
it
throw
to me.
it to.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
throw
give
it
it
to me.
to. I'll give it to
Back
Mark.
here. Yeah, right on. Hey, first of all, I'm so humbled to be a part of this group, and all you guys are doing just amazing things and have these great pearls of wisdom. And one of the things I've learned over time is just about fear and stepping into the fear. And it's just amazing what can come back to you by stepping in, doing things that are uncomfortable, and trying to find that zone where they become comfortable, and then you can start and turn around and helping others. And that's what happened to me. And I never thought I'd be involved in charities and helping others, but the gift that they give back to me is way more than anything that I've done, I've accomplished, than seeing those guys, realize their dreams. And so that's my one pearl of wisdom is stepping in the fear and go after your dream. I have a podcast called Finding Your Summit. And I think that's really what it is in life. We have peaks and we have valleys, and we all get knocked down. And what are you going to do to get back up? And a lot of times it takes that courage to step out there and do those types of things. So that's my pearl of wisdom, Kayla. And I'm not sure we're going to pass it on to next, but I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Oh, dear, Kitrick's got a little bit of a slow leg. While he's coming on, let me just take a moment and introduce him. Kitrick was actually our NFL liaison at the Super Bowl this year, and he blessed us because of the work he's doing. So, folks, I'll let Kitrick tell you why he's an icon with the Green Bay Packers. I also want to mention, and I'll let you share, Kitrick, what you do post career in Los Angeles, and then your little words of wisdom, if you don't mind. Okay?
No problem. Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me on, and all you great gentlemen. I came in late because I snuck out of my job, so I'm off now. But anyway, just listen to all of you guys. It's a blessing to be a part of this. I played 7 years in the NFL, and my main point, or should I say, my biggest highlight was I caught Brett Favre's first game-winning touchdown. And I don't take that lightly. That put him on. That pretty much put him on the map. Really, it did. You can look it up. But I don't brag about that. Like the gentleman just said earlier, I'm humble about that. There are people that follow me about just that one little play out of 7 years, and I don't take that lightly. But that's the grace of God. But right now, I'm working with kids from that are neglected in a group home, and kids that don't have it. They're less fortunate than us. And just hearing, I think someone mentioned about mental health. These kids are traumatized. These kids see so much, they grow up that way. So when they get of age, that's all they know. So my thing now is to just, try to, I am putting things together. We are talking about it. We have groups now that talk about mental health to try to help these kids. And that's my main thing, to give back to the kids. That's what we're all here for, to give back to the kids. And I think that's one way that we can. And not just the kids, there are a lot of adults, of course, that are dealing with mental health issues. And that's a huge topic now. And for me, I got sick in October, like deadly sick. I was like 10 seconds away from dying. And, even through that humbled me. So I said, I'm going to make sure through God, I'm a man of faith, through God, that I give back to everyone. Be nice, be humble, be friendly to everyone, because you don't know when that's the last time you're going to see them. So I'm just a man, just trying to do my thing, help out and whatever I can do to help people. And that's what I'm all about. If you ever see my Facebook page. So helping people and, being a man of God. That's me.
Guys, I just love it. I love these stories. I hear so much about faith and giving back and creating hope and possibility. And I'm going to ask you for a thumbs up if you'll agree to do what I'm going to ask you next. We talk about giving back. You guys all know that I ask every guest on Legacy After the Locker Room, and you've all said yes in the past, to partner with me for my charity of choice, which is Special Olympics. Can we count on you for a collective autograph, something really special?
Yes.
All right. And Jesse, I know that you are a big fan of adoption. I want to give you just a second to put in a plug for adoption. Chris, I want to give you a chance to put in a plug for the White Ribbon Project for any of you. Perfect Game USA. Go ahead and take a moment and pitch your foundation, your charity of choice. Jesse, we'll start with you.
Great. I believe every child should have a forever home, and that's possible. We don't need a foster care system anymore if people step up. You could adopt, you could support families who do, you can mentor, but let's take care of the kids in our own country. We can make a difference. I'm telling you, in a few years, there could be no foster care system if we welcome these kids into our homes. So we had the opportunity to adopt. It's been one of the best things that's happened in our life. We've had many families from our church who have adopted. And I encourage you to find in your area how you can support kids in foster care. Yes, you could go overseas and adopt. There's great needs there too. So international adoption is another need. Take care of the orphans. There's a lot of talk about what is faith? What is faith? One way we can live it out is by taking care of those in need. Orphans, widows, let's do that and make a difference. Make a tangible action or even a financial gift. And I thank you for your interest in this topic.
Awesome, Jesse. So the White Ribbon Project is I've been able to partner with them. They're a group that was started by a lung cancer survivor and her husband, who was a primary care doc, and literally the commitment that my wife made was one that we were able to establish with the foundation, but it was always about building a team. It was always about getting people together and recognizing that the only way that we could win was with this huge inclusive team. And so that's what the White Ribbon Project represents. It represents an inclusive team that is unbranded, meaning that any organization can fall underneath that. That it is about being urgent that understands when somebody is diagnosed, we cannot wait. We have to meet them at that diagnosis, and that it's always about love. It is built on love, and that the reason why we care, the reason why we fight, is because of the people. And so, if there's someone out there that has a connection with lung cancer, that wants lung cancer to move forward, I invite them to reach out to the whiteribbonproject.org. We have a ribbon for you. That ribbon will be for someone who just got diagnosed to let you know you are not alone. For a caregiver that says you're not alone, we've got backup and other caregivers. For medical people that You need to know that they are absolutely appreciated. We know that you have a choice in terms of where you're going to take your stand. We appreciate you, people on the ground. We know, again, every position matters. You don't have to be the same. We appreciate the different positions, but we want you to know that the ribbon is a representation of that we care about you, we appreciate you, we love you. So if you want that love and appreciation, reach out and let us know. We will get you a ribbon. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what country you're in, we will get it to you. Thank you.
Pass the baton, Chris.
Let me pass it. I'm gonna go to Todd, baseball guy.
I think the biggest thing is listen to everyone on here tonight is it's about loving on each other and empowering other people to make them a better person and help them through sports. Sports helps so many kids achieve not just playing in the professionals, but just growing as a human being and as a person and caring about each other. And that's one thing I love about the game is it's like a big family, and we try to help everyone else out. And just the biggest theme of tonight is helping others and empowering and loving on one another makes the biggest difference in life.
Todd, who are you going to throw that ball to?
I'm going to pass it over because I'm a big Packer fan here. So let's go down there and see you catch this one.
Okay. Appreciate that. Well, basically, I'm in where I'm in a position now where my main goal is to speak positive into lives. Again, back to that mental health, is just speak positive. You know, a lot of people don't understand that just one word can change a life, and so we just go out and we just talk positive to the people that we know that are in that situation, and you know, just love on them. You know, I think people nowadays with all this going on need love and need affirmation to know that they are somebody, and they don't have to get stuck on the fears that they had back in the past, that they can move forward in the future. But it just takes us, a collective, group, to go out and just continue to speak that over and over and over, and then hopefully down the line it will become, a habit and a routine, and they will start living better lives and not think bad about themselves.
Thank you, Kitrick. Go ahead and pass that big old football over.
Mr. Rich down there. How you doing, sir?
Okay, Kitrick, thank you much.
Yes, sir.
My son Michael, who was killed saving a girl's life when he was in high school, we used to walk by the urban ministries here in Steubenville, Ohio, and there'd always be a long line of people, especially in the winter, to get blankets, to get food, to get housing. And he'd tell me every day, Dad, when I get older, I wish I could do something for those people. Well, by his passing, we've raised thousands of dollars for the urban ministries of Steubenville. I live 20 minutes from Pittsburgh, 20 minutes from Wheeling, West Virginia. So anybody in the tri-state area, if you'd like to help out people in need, the urban ministries of Steubenville, they need your help. They help out so many people. And it's people that I grew up, people that I grew up with in my town, in this area. And you see them, and you don't think that there's people like that in the world today that, that they have to line up twice, 3 times a week to get food or clothing or shelter or anything. And it really hit me hard. So we've been on a campaign to try to raise as much money as we can to help the urban ministries of Steubenville, Ohio. Anybody in the tri-state area who's listening to this, we can sure appreciate your help because they do a great job down there. And it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. That means we turn everything over to Jamaican Bobsleigh and NFL alumni Mikel Blair.
Yes. Thank you. You know what's so amazing, so awesome right now is like all the time you hear about what our people are not doing. And then here's a platform that we see 8 to 9 guys that are doing something. The NFL alumni talks about caring for our own, caring for our community, and caring for the kids. And man, it doesn't matter if you're NFL. It doesn't matter if you're MLB. It doesn't matter. Like, it's guys, it's men. We're born men, and we're taking care of our community. And that narrative of guys not doing that, it's debunked. I mean, you can see it right here. So It's 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 such a good thing. It feels good to know that there's other people out there who has the same thought process, and the land is so big, but there is so many of us out there who's doing their part of the puzzle. So love it.
I just want to say, Michael, just touching on the work of the Chicago NFL alumni, thank you for inviting Roy and I with Sports Philanthropy Network to the holiday party. And folks, Michael's humble. He's not going to share this, but I'll tell you what those guys did. There was a semi truck, and Michael, if I miss any part of this, correct me, but there was a semi truck of toys for children for Christmas in Chicago. That semi truck of toys was stolen, and leave it to the Brotherhood of the Chicago NFL alumni if they didn't go out and replenish all those toys for kids for Christmas. Did I get that right, Michael?
Yeah, I mean that's I mean that's at our hearts, right? I mean, we see things all the time, and if we're able, we're going to do everything we can to make it happen. So absolutely.
Well, I want to say God bless each of you for sharing your story, and thank you so much. I think this has been the most powerful podcast that Legacy After the Locker Room has done so far. I'm grateful for this special episode, the Athlete Roundtable. And I want to thank each of you, thank Sports Philanthropy Network, and on behalf of all of these amazing men, Todd Coffey, Major League Baseball, Jesse Bradley, Major League Soccer, Chris Draft, NFL, Kitrick Taylor, NFL, Mark Pattison, NFL, Rich Donnelly, Major League Baseball, Michael Blair, NFL, and Jamaican Bobsleigh. Live your legacy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.